Oops. A weird noise. Oops. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do. I'll put on an ad while I get set up. Hold on. That's why I wasn't showing up. Yeah, I wonder if there is a way to increase the output resolution of this screen here. Have I tried that before? Maybe I never tried it before. So let's try it now. Uh, 2560 by 1440. I don't know if it's gonna work. Oh, maybe it's working. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a little. Whoa, what is that? Maybe it's a little bit blurry. Oh, I see. The resolution is not set right. Oh, there we go. Wait, was that it? Let me just see. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So given that, and then we can go, I'm just gonna open a separate one, and we can go. Whoa, that is weird. I don't know why. Oh, hey, there we go. Cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Now we got more space over here. It is a little blurry, but let's see if I can deal with that for now in favor of having more screen space. Okay, so the last time my import here was broken. So what we want to do here, oops, is pull. I do have on-stage changes. Oh, I see. Okay. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to experiment with the concept of being able to control load from disk, being able to control multiple players using a single input. And that's our goal for today. So I don't have anything open. So let me go here onto this workspace, open up my browser. Oh, I do have I do have my browser open. Sorry. I'll go back to this space, open up my dev stream. Oh. Sick. I actually never looked to see if anything happened with this pull request. Let me just take a look. Oh, that's not the right repository. This is the one I meant to look at. 2 open PRs. Hmm. Okay. Well, that's okay for now. We're gonna test this to see if it works. What was the button I set for this? F5. I didn't set that button. Oh, because I upgraded. Probably my shortcuts changed. So, I don't know. Run project. Oh, Alt R. Oh, okay, I did. I don't know why that's happening. Oh, because I'm in resize mode. Oh, sick. I don't know why my collisions are broken. That's easy enough to fix. So let's fix the collisions real quick. What was happening is we kept bouncing back and forth between 2 different file names. Let's see if that happened again. Yep. It happened. If I discard those changes, does it get fixed? Yep. Sick. Very cool. Super. So everything here is working the way we wanted it to. My notes. Oh, so it just closed? Is that what happened? Oh no, no, there it is. Newer version. What a ridiculous switch, but okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is Obsidian. Fire up my notes, which I don't know if they'll be updated. So let's take a look at. Uh-huh. So no, it's missing my my notes from my other machine. Hmm. That's okay, maybe. So I want to outline what I'm going to do here. Add controls for new. Hold on. Oops. Add controls or control multiple players with same controller. Yeah, I know. Could look that up too, but I'm not going to do that right now. Oh, the other thing I need to do over here. Hold on. Make sure everything is flowing here on my stream. Okay, cool. Other thing we got to do here is we got to go to Open Tomato. And we got to run it. Nice. Where am I going to put this? Oops. Yeah, like that, I guess. I don't know how this happened. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough for now. Okay. So, let's go to tasks, glove, multiple players, one controller. That's what I'm going to call it. For new debug options. Right, so debug, add player, debug, remove player, add, remove, debug, next control, next player. And then previous player. And we'll start off with those and then eventually add, you know, debug control player one. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Right? Maybe We eventually want a debug overlay, but for right now, I think we're chilling. So first, add new controls. All right. Then, oops. Add controls, and then, where am I going to check for those buttons? So I guess the tricky thing is, might be good to be able to do it at any point in the game. So it might be good to have a separate debug screen for it. But I'm thinking it should be something that I can handle like anywhere. So maybe it should be in its own class. I think, or its own file. I have a separate class or file, and we're going to use that for processing the input function, probably. Because I think all these will be able to get processed on the input. The reason why it's going to be annoying is because then it's going to have that control on every controller, right? Or not necessarily. I can just put it on all controllers, because that's literally the whole point. Okay. So let's try it. So we're going to start out with project settings, input map. Oh, I did start doing this. I don't think I use it anywhere though. Debug cycle next player, previous player. And let's check the code for that. Oh. Oh, well, yes. It's in action. var debug. Oh, look at this. Player manager. Is debug mode, so I already have a flag for that. What is this trying to do here? Oh. Player manager. I see. Debug cycle previous player. Oh, interesting. But what does this do? This does nothing. I think this is literally me trying to do this last time. What is input devices? I made this. I think this is dead code. Oh, input devices dot cycle next. Oh my god, did I do this already? So hold on. Project settings, debug. See, this one says device 0. Maybe all I have to do is change this to all devices here. Event is action pressed. Process input. The thing is, this is on the player manager. When does the player manager get input? I don't think it does. I pressed the wrong button. I don't know why that's happening. Oops, I pressed the wrong button again. No, come on, dude. There we go. Oh, it does get input. Interesting. Okay. What's the problem here? The event is not declared. Oh. Oh, cycle next player device ID. Okay. So maybe I had something in here that kind of works, right? Because then we get the device ID, and then we want to change to the next device ID. This makes a lot of sense. All right, so cycle next. Ah. I see what this is doing. This is changing the device ID using my system. We can try this, but the better method might be, instead of changing the device ID, is basically reassigning the controller to a different player. Maybe instead of doing that, we just add something that overrides the authority of the whole thing altogether and just says, hey, any controller should work. And then we just set like active player equals this one. And then in our player controller, we just check for that. Right? Like that would be even simpler, I think. Input devices, device ID. Yeah, this is literally reassigning the player. Let's see what this does. Oh, but this doesn't add more players. This doesn't physically add more players. We still need something to add more players. And that thing would have to interact with our player manager. Add device ID. Okay. Okay, so player. Oh no, yeah, debug. I was in input devices. No, I thought it was player manager, right? Yes, this is not player manager, that's why. I was reading the wrong thing on the top of the screen there. Okay, so maybe we can let this debug class handle everything. So what we need to do here is still add a couple buttons. Oh. That is weird, isn't it? What does a normal keyboard look like? Hold on. That's a funny question, right? These are not normal keyboards. So this one's close to a normal keyboard. So right. And my minus is up here. So that does feel weird for my keyboard. Maybe I just use 0 and 9 because every keyboard is going to have 0 and 9. And that might be more consistent. Originally, I was thinking to use plus and minus to add a player and subtract a player. It makes sense. They're right next to each other, and plus to add, minus subtract makes sense. But my keyboard layout, plus and minus are on opposite ends of the keyboard. I don't think I would ever use that. Debug add player. Oh, sorry, add new action. Debug. Debug add player. This actually might be very simple. Debug remove player. Right? And then what are we going to add for these buttons? So to add a player, we'll do it from the keyboard. Keyboard keys. We'll go 0. Oh, sorry, not 0, but we'll do oh yeah, shift 0 to add, shift 9 to remove. Then we'll do, oops, cancel. Yeah, add and remove. And then over here, I'm gonna go 0 for next and add 9 for previous. Even though we had the brackets on the keyboard already, that's fine. Okay, debug add player, debug remove player. So then what I gotta do is go to action. And we have this, debug mode keys. const debug add player. Right. Okay. And then we can say if eventa is action pressed, action.debug add player. Input devices dot add device ID. We'll use the device ID. Hey, hold on. Add. That doesn't make sense. So we'll assign device ID to player number. Oof. Oh, what player number would it be? It would have to be player count plus 1. And where do we get the player count from? Spawned players. Player count right here. Oh, it's not going to be player count plus 1. It's going to be player count. I think. Might not have visibility to that. Player count not found in base self. Player manager. I don't actually know how to use that. Let's go player count and see where it's used. Oh yeah, player manager dot player count. I guess it's static. I don't know. Or is it singleton? Yeah, it's in globals. And then if event that is action pressed, action dot debug remove player. The only problem with this is that we also then need to also create a signal for adding players and removing players so that the current loaded scenes can react to the changes, right? Because right now, for example, the main menu is not going to show players that aren't added unless, you know, yeah. We'll figure it out. Input devices dot remove. Yeah, device ID. But it doesn't remove the player from the game necessarily. It removes the device. I'm going to put a note here. May have to remove the player also. Like here, we might have to emit events probably from here that say like new player added, player removed. So that would be in SIGBus. So in our signal bus, player, and we don't have that. We have player spawned, player died. So we'll go this. Whoa. Signal player added. It's not gonna have a player. It's probably gonna have a number. Player number. And then a I don't know how I keep hitting that. Did it again. So what we could do here is emit them. Signal bus dot. Wait, how do we emit? Okay, that's right. Signal bus dot player added dot emit, and then we need to give it the player number. So here what we're gonna do is go var new player number. This way we don't get the count again after adding another player, and then the count goes up and then we run into issues. And then remove is gonna be a similar thing, but before we remove it, we're going to emit, because we're going to use dot emit. We're going to use player manager dot player count here. I think this should be good. Let's see what happens. Oh, function player count now found in base self 179. I think I fixed that though, right? Oh, wrong file. Yes, I believe I did. Bummer. Well, oh. Let's run it again. So that's the add player button. Didn't do anything. And this should have given up control on this player. So that didn't work. So go here. We're going to get rid of this debug print. And we're going to go here. What are we going to say here? Device ID is action pressed. I think we have some debug prints here, right? Oh wait, is this set? If not, is debug mode. Maybe that's why. Let's open up settings.gd. Is debug mode is set, so that's not why. Oh, I have a notification here. And my time is about up for this iteration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break here for, 5 minutes. I have to go grab my mail real fast and then I'll be right back. But I do want to know why this isn't working. Updated devices debug print, cycle update. We do that both cases. Debug mode updated device. Did that ever print out here? Oh yeah, we did. Updated device -1 -1. Oh, okay. Count 1. I see. So maybe the issue here is player count. Input devices, player count. Yeah, input devices sets the player count, essentially. I think that's how it works. So what I'm going to do when I come back is maybe hook up this new signal that I just created. And then that's going to trigger the UI to update so that we can actually do stuff. I don't know why it wasn't updating the player count. It's kind of weird, right? Non-player selected, assign player number 2. Player selections, yeah. Gonna have to have a way to do that also. But okay. We could put a print here. Just so that we know it comes into here. QQ. What's up, Prishlsov? Prishlexov. What is good? I will be right back. I just gotta grab something real quick, and then we're going to dig more into why this isn't working. Also, am I on the right thing? No, I don't think so. I think I should be on this. Just coincidentally. Yes. Okay. I think I started the right thing here. Anyways, I will be right back. Okay. I'm back and I decided to put my earbuds in because my neck hurts like crazy. So we'll use these earbuds till I get sick of having this cable getting tugged on all the time. So, okay. Obviously this was a big thing, so we're going to split this and we'll say multiple players, one controller. What are we going to do here? Hook up new signals. Right? And then we will keep going. Cool. So what does that mean? So we're going to go to we can close this one for now. So first thing is, let's go to character, what is it? Character selection. Character selection. And in here, presumably somewhere here, ready, connect player selected, player unselected, player count updated. Oh, we already have a signal for this. Wait, hold on. So player selected. What does that do? Player selected. Okay. That comes from the selector. Player count updated. Don't know where that comes from. Player count updated. Okay, so maybe then I don't need to do add and remove per se, but player count updated has to be fired. Player added, so we'll do signal bus dot player count updated. New player number. Why isn't it like that? Oh, you're right. And then we're going to go here and we have to remove it first and then use player count to do it in both places. You have to do it differently in each one. Right? So maybe that'll work. So the only thing I don't like about this is every time I try to go back to here, the game shows up on this screen. I don't know why. See what I mean? Like when I try to go back here, this screen is in the way. Jeez. Actually, doesn't look like it was working. Still can't figure out how to close this. There we go. Errors. Cycle. Index out of bounds. -1. Oh. Cycle previous. That was on input devices, so I do need to have input devices open still. Shit, I need both files open. So input devices we can have open on the bottom here. Yeah, there is a different way to write this. I could refactor this to be a single line. And then cycle next. So which function was crashing? Previous. Oh, if it's less than 0. Right, because it's using device ID. Wait, why? Cycle previous player. Device ID. Huh? So I don't think I use this anywhere. Oh, I use it here. So I use it in the input designator. I do use it. Just try it and test it in the input designator. So must have to do with the way I'm calling it. Cycle next device ID. Takes the device ID. And then cycle previous should also take a device ID. I wish these errors showed up in the same screen as my output. Input devices count 1. I think that's the issue. Oh, so it's probably giving that error because there is no player. Right. Yeah, I don't know why. If player was -1, we subtract 1, that's -2. Is that how it works? No, it would be 0. So let's just say it's 0. Then we subtract 1, that's -1. So if it's less than 0, which it is, then we set it to device count, which is 1, minus 1, which is 0. I don't know how it's getting -1. But what I'm not seeing happening is actually adding players. Debug add player. So let's take a look at settings. Let's open up action here. Debug add player. Debug remove player. Let's double check that's right. Debug add player, debug remove player, shift 0, shift 9. Action debug add player. All right, so let's fire that and see what happens. Why is this update device happening before adding player? Also I can see why maybe having that debug statement is a terrible idea. Right? And so then here we have debug add player, debug remove player. Those are right. I'm pretty sure these functions are right. So I'm going to leave these functions alone. Input devices dot assign. Oh. Bug print cycle update. Oh, so shift, I see. I see what's happening here. This needs to come first. And these kind of need to be else ifs. Because we don't want more than one of these to be able to happen at the same time anyway, so I think it makes sense. So let's go like this. See, now just add player was executed. It's not working. But it's kind of, logic is a little bit better than it was. So the next thing I'm going to do here is we have to debug print cycle update. I think this should just happen always. Ooh, there's no way for me to say that. I don't know that there's a better. I'm gonna do this ugly thing here. It's disgusting. Don't hate me. And that's actually should be up here. Don't hate me. That's gross. I'm not happy. It's not really adding players, right? Why is the count still 1? So this assign isn't working. Wait, list, assign, what? Oh. Oh. on gamepad assigned, input devices dot assign, gamepad player number, device ID, new player number. That should work. Right, on gamepad assigned, and this in player manager. I could actually just use this, right? Technically. Also, to raise the question of what happens with this. Is this getting copied? Because if this is getting copied, that would make sense. No, but it still outputs this variable, right? So it shouldn't matter. This is too difficult for me to read right now. Player manager.count. Right. Should be like that. And then this should be the same thing. Move player. Player to remove. This isn't right. This isn't necessarily right. This is also a bug. So to do that, we'll track current player here. Oh, sorry, that's to remove the player. That should be up here. Right. And then down here, player to remove is going to be, is going to be current player, right? And then this also has a bug that if it's player one, we're going to run into some issues, but that's okay. Focus on the prize here. Player count updated, that's fine. And then we have to, also when we remove a player, we also have to change the current player, presumably. but that's okay for now. Oh, this is changing it also. I guess we don't have to change a current player when we add one. We can just do that. We'll keep it separate for now, and we'll just use the cycle method, cycle next and cycle previous. And this is going to be a current player plus our manager.player count. So plus count minus 1 mod player count. Oh. All right, it's the same number. And that should be good for that. And then it's just like player switching is different from whatever. And this is fine for now. Actually, I guess current player, I guess really should be input devices. It's fine. It's a little bit buggy, but let's just see if we can get it to work, period. Oh. Son of a gun. This is... No. Okay. I know why it's not working. It's never gonna work. It's a dictionary. It's impossible for this to work. It's not possible for this to work. So what we're gonna do... we have to do the other thing I said, which is probably a better idea in general. Instead of actually changing the player, the controller assignment, right, which is exclusive, what we can do is we can set, actually, wait, hold on. No, you can have multiple devices control the same player, but you cannot have a single device control multiple players, because it's a mapping of device to player. It's a one-to-many. It's not a many-to-many mapping. So what I need to do is, I mean, I could change the way that works, but I think it's better to just have an override. Player count. But right now, the player count is based on the number of IDs, device IDs, which is a problem. So I do have to change the way that this works. Right? Let's do this. What I like to do is I like to rubber duck with ChatGPT. Like, yo, GPT, here's my sitch. What do you think? So what we're gonna do here, my game tracks the number of players based on the number of devices using a dictionary of device IDs to player numbers. I want to be able to control multiple players using the same device. Let's just see what it says with that. So hold on. So if I go here and we add a player, fine. If I do this, yes. See what? So what's happening here is this number can't increase because the player count is based on this. Keep your device to player mapping. That's fine for normal gameplay. For debug, we will add a layer of indirection. Instead of this device always controls this player, we have this device controls some player chosen dynamically. So then we have controller map, cycle index, players, register player, set control, cycle player, update player script to check control. If controlled by equals null, return. Notice we're using the device-specific overload. Video 4 supports this. Add a debug key to cycle. Oh wait, so how are they actually solving this? Set control device ID player index. Oh, so maybe this didn't really answer my question, but I think they're right. I can keep my current mapping, right? But maybe what we do instead here is when player added gets emitted, we have to manually add a player somehow. So how do we do that? Okay, so what we need to do right now is look at how we control player count. Right, player count here is controlled by devices.playerCount, which is a mistake. Input devices.player player count var assigned player numbers equals this. So what I can do here is add an override, right? And I think that's what I want to do. So what I can do here is add player. Is there an add player? There is an add function for adding an input device, but this is an input device. So the thing I don't like about this is it kind of groups. Oh, it groups devices and players, but okay. So no, hold on. The idea here is input devices manages input devices. So we have a player count. This is not a player count. This is a device count. This is player numbers of devices.keys. This is a device count is what this is. So this should be renamed. Rename device count because it is not a player count. And then, right, because we're always going to use input devices at size. Otherwise 1, right? Then in here, we say, oh, these are the input devices, right? Right. And then we return player count. Now what we can do is we can have a player count variable, which is going to get a tiny bit hairy, but give me a sec here, let me cook. So what we're going to do is add a var player count override. Overrides the player count. Overrides the player count while debugging. Overrides the device count while debugging, right? So then we're going to say player count. Sorry, we'll leave that here. Player count override is equal to 1. Maybe we should be specific about that. Is a 1. And then in here, we're gonna say player count override if I got it. I got it? I'm wondering if I can use max for this. right? I think that makes sense. Yes. So what we're going to do is going to say maximum of player count override and input devices dot player count. And what the result of that is going to be, right, is that when we override with more players than we have devices, we're going to use the player count. And when we decide to not do that and remove players, we're not going to remove more players than the devices that we have. And so the number of devices will be the minimum number of players. I'm going to make a note here. The minimum number of devices is the minimum player count. Right? I think that makes sense. And then what we have to do is player count override. We now have to use this. So player added, right? Emit new player number. Now new player number is player count, right? That's not the case anymore. We're gonna do so then this, input devices. So what we're gonna do here, player selected gamepad assign on gamepad assigned. Once we assign this and we have player count, we are going to say player count override equals maximum input devices dot player count and player count override. So the result of that is if we add more controllers, nothing should change. Only if we have more controllers than players. Okay. So that's handling assigning of gamepads. Okay, player added. Emit new player number. And where's new player number? It's coming from player count, which is wrong. So player count override. And then plus equal to 1. Is not declared. Oh, you're right. Because we don't have access to that outside class. We can pass a parent here so that we can. Or I guess, actually, I guess we don't need to because our player count that we had, this already factors in the override. But we do need a way to override. So I think what I need to do is add a function here that's like add player. Right? Add player. And then delegate to this instead of doing the work here. So this is going to do assigning. And it's going to do the emitting. And it's going to manage our state. It's going to say, so new player number var new player number equals player count override. But we should cap our maximum number of players. I think for this game is actually technically 4. What was it, clamp? Or 0 and 3? then we're going to say and this is going to move to here. And why doesn't it like this? Because you don't have current player. Oh. Sorry, remove player. Player ID. But it also wants a device ID. Input devices are removed. We don't need to remove the device necessarily. This is going to screw with a lot of stuff, isn't it? Because if I'm also manipulating the number of devices, then I might accidentally remove a device that should still be there. I'm not going to worry about that scenario for right now, just to see what happens, just to see as like a proof of concept if I can get something to work. We're just going to try to get something to work as quickly as we can here. Keep going. So I hooked up the new signals. Now what? Oh, okay. So now we can finish that. Now we're going to say love. Track player count separately. And that's what we're gonna do. So I'm not gonna remove the device. Yeah, I'm not gonna remove the device because cycling could help us. But I probably also need to cycle the device after I remove it. So this is gonna be player manager dot remove player, current player, and then I don't even need to call this again. We're just going to cycle next, or cycle previous makes sense. We'll say debug cycle previous player. Because that mapping still holds true. Because we only want one device to control one player. So the one-to-many thing is fine. Wait, hold on. One device can only control one player. It's a one-to-one. Well, no, it's a one-to-many because it's device ID to player number. So there could be overlap where one device could control multiple players. Multiple devices could control one player, but not one device can control multiple players. Because it's device to player. So you can have device 1 to player 1, device 2 to player 1, device 3 to player 1. But you can't have device 1 to player 1 and device 1 to player 2. This is a dictionary. Dun, 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 dun. Where that leaves us. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, sick. That's happening. That's happening because we're delegating it to the input devices, which doesn't have our player count. It has our device count. So we don't want to cycle. We don't want to cycle like this. We want to cycle it by ourselves. Butt cheeks. Okay, so that's fine. So how do we cycle it ourselves? We have current player. So current player is getting set. So that's not so hard. All we have to do is say assign device ID to current player. Easy. We already have a function for that, and it's actually the same thing here. So these functions literally become the same freaking function. Cycle previous player. What is it using count for? Oh, yeah. Okay. Just to make the line shorter. I think that's fine. We can probably clean this code up. See, the thing I don't like is it shows when I do that. What the heck is going on here? Okay. Oh, because you know why? When I remove, I didn't subtract player count. So what I'm going to do is in my remove player, right. So add player, we add, remove player, we need to remove. So player count override my equals clamp player count override -1. Again, these functions have a lot of similarities. And then the same thing here we're going to do when we're removing players. We're going to want to assign. Did I do that in here? I think I did. Yeah, it needs to be a little bit more consistent the way I have this done. But one thing at a time. It's almost working. It's a little buggy. Right? Sick! Oh my gosh, it works. 3, 4, 5. So something screwy going on with the player count. Oh, that's why this is all screwy, because I accidentally hit plus equal. It should be plus. That's funny. I copy pasted the line. No, I didn't. I guess I wrote it manually. Both. Okay. And that'll probably fix that weirdness that I was having before. And this debug needs to use my player count. Maybe I could do like this. That makes sense. Doesn't strictly follow my format exactly, but the idea is still there. Doesn't it like about this? Is not in the current scope. Oh, you're right. Oh yeah, so it actually already says the player count. Kind of. Well, no, because what I would do here to get the player count is just call it again. But it's not going to be any different until I actually add the player. What does this do again? Don't know. We're kind of doing... We'll clean this up in a bit. Because we're doing kind of two of the same debug output here. So I don't know why my second Player's not showing it. It's like a off by 1. My cycling works beautifully. Love that. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. So what I need to figure out is what the deal is. Almost there, you guys. And once we get it there, like I said, we're going to clean it up. So add player, then that comes down to the bottom of the screen. And player number equals player count override. Player count override is clamp player 1. Oh, player added. Oh, player count updated. That's why it's emitting the same number. Right? That's why. And then this should also be the same thing. They should either both delegate to the function or both use the player count override. Oh, because of where they are, it should probably, yeah, not unconditionally use the player count override. Use the same logic. Sick. That will fix the weird off by 1 delay. Boom. There it is. Oh. Oh. Sick. That is sick. Oh, this game only supports 3 players. And my removing players works. Oh, adding them back doesn't seem to work. So what seems to be happening though is we need to update current player when we add a player. Cycle next. So when I remove, I'm cycling, right? Yes, when I remove, I'm doing it, but not when I'm adding. So I should do it when I'm adding also. Cycle, oops, next player. Right? And then everything should kind of make sense. If I go back, it should go back to the middle. Yes! Oh! And then I can go to the next one, select, next one, select, start the game. Oh, I gotta go back to player 1 to start the game. Something funky's going on here. No device found for player 1. Oh, assertion fail. I'm actually asserting that there are devices. Input devices.get device. Oh, I see. This raises a good question. Well, that's why I have an assertion there. Raises a good question. What do I do in that situation? Get device. What do I do when there is no device for a player? Well, let's just see what happens if I remove it. That is a very cool feature to have, though. They're all moving with the same character. Okay. Not what we wanted, but kind of cool. A little OP. Okay, so the reason for that is because now player doesn't do any checking for this. Right, I return, so right, okay, that's why. Because the default is that, hey, if you can't find anything, return the keyboard. But it should never get here. That's why the assertion's here. So assert false. Yes, it's literally just failing anytime it gets to this situation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to not just assert false, but we're going to say assert settings.debug. And false or false. No. Not settings debug and false. So now it shouldn't assert. And return keyboard is not right. So what we're going to do is return -2. I think keyboard has a value of -1. It does. So we're going to return -2, which is going to effectively turn those off. So actually, let's make a constant for that. Const no input -2 as another sentinel value. No input. Note, allow turning off input for players during debugging. This allows us to control multiple players one at a time using the same input device. Right, key being one at a time. Invalid access property debug on a base type of settings. Oh, snaps. Oh, is debug mode. Sorry. No device found for player one. Actually, I think I can just do that. Settings bug mode is false. Search name will raise an error because expression is always false. Why is it always false? Why would that always be? That didn't do what I thought it was gonna do. Oh geez, there we go. It's the same thing. We can just remove it. Because we don't really want to make that assertion in production. We're not going to assert in production, so I might as well just remove it. Well, I'm pretty sure there is some logic where that should work. Why is that happening? Why is it still controlling everybody? No input. Get device. Action for device, device ID. Oh. For app. It's not dynamic. It assigns it. Right? And the same thing with action. Player number assign. Yeah, the other ones are -2. Device ID -2, device ID -2. So why? Oh no, now it's working. No, it's not. Oh my god. I see what's going on. My movement and my attack aren't being handled the same way. So it's picking up movement, but it's not picking up the attacks. That is wild. Okay, so get movement. Better input get movement device ID. This is given a device ID. So why? Oh, because should check keyboard checks if it's less than 0. No? Get player number for device, device ID. If get player number, return player number for device, get keyboard player. And what does get keyboard player do? Oh, get keyboard, if input device is at keyboard. Action equals action.device action.new. Return the keyboard vector. Oh, it's probably going in here. Device vector 0, 0. That's my guess. New device action, device ID. I see. Is that why? Get movement. It's returning something for some reason and it should not. And should check keyboard input. My guess is this is what's breaking it. Get player number for device. Device ID. Get keyboard player though. Get keyboard player comes from here and it's always going to get the one that is assigned to the keyboard. Get movement. Where do I use get movement? In physics process. Which means if I put a debug statement here, it's going to spit out like diarrhea. But I want to see what it's outputting. So we probably have to just suck it up and add a debug. Just so we can see what's going on. Should check keyboard player manager. Get player number for device. Get the player number for that device is the keyboard player. But why would that be returning true? So what we're going to do is we're going to add the print in here. Checking keyboard movement. But I just realized this happens. Get player number. Huh. Get player number for device. Yeah, it's always going to go in there because there's always going to be 0. That's kind of what I thought would happen. I don't think it should be. Why is this here? I don't know if it's still needed. Well, it's definitely not needed. I think the idea was to allow keyboard and mouse input. But it looks like it's not even needed. And it looks like things are still responding to it that shouldn't be. Okay, better input get movement. But is action pressed? So what's the difference here between is action pressed? Is device ID is greater than -1. So why am I doing that check here, but I don't do that check up here? Ah. That's why. Assign type of value nil to variable type vector2. 186. Oh, this is returning nil. Oh. My bad. I think it might like that better. If I had to guess. Oh, sick. The only problem is, oh, right. So now I know I do know why this isn't working now. Now this is not working because player has to be updated to pull dynamically. Which is kind of a pain in the neck. Right, so instead of pulling dynamically, I think instead of pulling dynamically on every function call, what I can do is dynamically change the state. I don't know what's better, polling every single time or using what's there and just, I think using what's there and changing the state is a little bit better. It's caching in a way, which is a little bit funky. You know, caching can get a little bit funky. Managing state can get a little bit funky versus polling, which is going to always be accurate. However, the problem with polling is that we're going to be calling this function every single frame, right? I'd rather not do that. Is it that much different though? Yeah, I think because here's what I'm thinking. If I make this change that I'm thinking of in my brain, then what we would be doing is in player, we're going to have two new signals. And then that's going to be basically player. Actually, maybe we have those signals already. Input devices. No. We have count updated. Well, let's just go here. Player selected. That's the actual character. Player update, player died, player spawn, player removed, player added. I think there is an input designated thing though. Player unselected. Input. Assigned. Gamepad assigned. Right? It's for gamepads though. Let's look at where this is used. But I think we might be able to tap into this and just use this. Yeah, because it emits device ID. It doesn't emit gamepad ID. And so all we have to do, and this will be better for player, is have player update. So that's the next thing I'm going to put in here. Pick a task, and we're going to take a quick break. Love, emit gamepad updated, gamepad assign. When cycling characters and subscribe in player.gd. Cool. So we actually finished this player count, tracking player count thing. That's actually finished. And then we're going to go to this. We're going to start this next bot. I'm going to take a short break, get some water here. And we're making some pretty good progress today, actually. Very happy. Let me check my time here. 2 hours. What time is it? 3:30. Okay, I'm going to take a break. We're going to do one final push on this code change. I think it's almost done. I think it's almost ready. I think it's almost usable. It still needs to be tested with Bluetooth devices, which I don't know if I figured out how to set up yet on Linux. So we can try to figure that out if we have time today. Otherwise, I'll test it on my Mac later. And then I'll probably jump off after we get this player script dynamically updating the input. Super easy. Just using signals and slots. Should be really easy. I'll be right back. We're going to take a short break. All right. Okay. We are back. So this is great, right? So all we have to do is emit gamepad assign, but let's also just check where this is even connected to. It's connected to player manager. And that's it. It's the only place it's connected. So where's player manager? Player manager's here. Gamepad assigned. This is fine. Updates the player count. But what it does not do. Okay, so we're gonna run into two things. Let me start the timer here. We're gonna run into two issues here. Sure, we can assign a gamepad to a new player. However, the problem that we're going to run into by using this assigned value instead of polling, the problem that we're going to run into is that it's not going to be a only one type of situation. In other words, if we say, hey, update player 2 to use the keyboard, we would then have to go to all the other players and say, hey, don't use the keyboard on those. Which we could do very easily, actually. All we have to do is we listen for this gamepad assigned signal, and we say, hey, if our current gamepad is the one that's being assigned, change it to no input. And then that way we do a swap, effectively turning them all off. Perfect. Works fine. Works great for me. So what we're going to do here is go to player. That's not player, but we can open player here. And I think this gets deleted. We need to test that more thoroughly, but I think that can get deleted. I don't think there's any purpose to that, because I think that's just always going to go into there, which is kind of annoying. So what we're going to do is, where's my, what's it called, init? I don't have an init. Wait, for real? Oh, ready. Sorry, it's ready, not init for node. Okay. So what we're going to do is say sigbus dot gamepad assigned dot connect. Oh, we want to connect before we emit anything, probably. On gamepad assigned. And we'll just add it to the bottom. Func on gamepad assigned. Sigbus is over here. And player. Right. Lovely. And all we're going to do is we're going to say if player is not equal to player. No, it's not equal to number. Actually, I don't even think I need the player number to do that. I can just say if gamepad is equal to, well, to be more accurate, we could check it. If gamepad is equal to device ID and player is equal to number, device ID equals device. What's the input devices? Input devices dot no input. Is that where it is? No, you're looking at me like no, it's not in there. No input. It is in input devices. Last name input devices. Input devices.keyboard. Oh, devices. I'm missing the S. If. So what do we want to say? Else if player equals number, device ID equals gamepad. And then in our cycle function, cycle next previous, cycle next player, we just need to emit that here. We'll say sigbus dot gamepad assigned device ID current player. Oh, and this class has all the information it needs. Well, it's not a function. We have to emit it. Sorry. I always forget the emit syntax for some reason. And here we're going to say sigbus dot gamepad assigned dot emit. I'll remember to put it in this time. Device ID and then current player. Perfect. Let's run it. See what kind of crazy stuff we run into. It's weird that this game's only 3 players. I thought I did 4 players, but what do I know? Right. Alright, and then if I do this. Oh, it works! Oh my god! No, it doesn't work. My player 1's still moving. Okay, so here's what we do. Half of it is working, right? Wait, why is only half of it working? Oh, I did a weird thing. Yes, this is never true. I meant to do this. Right? So now just red's moving. Sick. Now just green is moving. Sick. Now just blue's moving. What? I'm insane. And the funny thing is, I added this in as debug, right? This was like a debug feature. But in theory, right, this could be a game feature too. Like this could be a game mode. We already have the plumbing to make this work, right? Who's got keys? Elf's got keys. Boom. There you go. Take it over, Wiz. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so we only know, right now, we only know this works on the keyboard. That's awesome. Now, what happens if I remove a character? Okay, it doesn't remove him from the game, right? That's the only thing. But that's fine, so we could figure that out. Someone's got a key, Wiz. Very cool. Now I have to figure out why there's only 4 players. Is the next thing. 3 players is the next issue. Oh, I'm clamping it to 3. That's why. So clamp in this file, I think, is wrong. Maybe it should be 1 and 4. Let's see if that does it. Yes. Oh no. Not enough viewports for players. Viewports for players for. That sounds like that sounds like a crazy problem. This is spawn.gd. Player spawn.gd. I probably made a greater than or something. It's an off by one issue. It's probably a wrong comparison. Line 11 was it? No, 19. Oh, right here, right here. Heroes.size less than viewports.size should be less than or equal to. Not strictly less than. That was probably the first time I tried to run it with 4 viewports. Oh, look at that. And now we fixed a bug because of that. You see that? This is why it's so important to have these kind of debug utilities. Oh, sick. This is really cool. Elf's got the key. Boom. Take it away, Huntress. Oh, sick, dude. Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. Cool. Okay, cool. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we gotta commit this. So let's commit all of our changes to action.gd. Better input. I deleted that? Oh, no. I commented that. Which we'll commit it like this with the comment. And then what I'm gonna do is test it on the other computer. And then that's going to be a separate commit. I don't know why. I don't know what changed here. I don't know what changed here. I don't know why all these times changed. I think the times changing is a system clock bug, which means that there's a bug in the way that I'm recording the times. These should be UTC times, all of these. I don't know why they're changing. The date didn't change, just the time of day changed for some reason. The time on my computer might be wrong. No, the time on my computer is right. I don't know. I don't know, actually. We'll go like this, and then we'll have to manually find the new tasks that we added. Select line by line, yeah. Oh, and then player.gd also had some changes. And here we're going to go, what are we going to call this? Debug, add debug controls to control multiple characters one at a time using the same input device. And then this is going to be a bug. This is going to be spawn, player spawn, fix, fix assertion bug, logic bug to allow 4 players. Fix assertion thrown. Not enough viewports assertion being thrown and playing with 4 players. Okay. Cool. Let me go back here, stop that, and finish that. And then I need to test it with Bluetooth devices that I couldn't figure out how to set up last time. So I'm gonna call it there, and I'm going to go run some errands and do some lifey things. And that's probably it for dev stream for today. Might come back later tonight for a game stream. Oh, I see Space is trying to contact me. Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna hop off. I will catch you guys later.